guys, I'm so excited to film this one today. This is a simple and quick review about The Simply Wild and Wild at Heart by K.A. Tucker. I'm so excited to do this review. Last year I started putting out all these reviews and then I realized I think I should put them in series, especially if they're series. So I'll have to wait to read some more of a series in order to put the reviews out. But this is one of those things I waited for a long time to put out this review because I love The Simple Wild. I believe I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, and yeah, let's get into both of these books, Simple Wild and Wild at Heart, and I'll tell you why you should read them, basically. So Simple Wild is about Jonah and Kala, and but the main story is about Kala. So Kala is this young girl. I think she lives in like a big city like Toronto. She lives like an Instagram life, and I think she has a website. So she's like a blogger and an Instagrammer. And she gets a call from a worried woman. Her father lives in Alaska and she hasn't seen him in 24 years. He is a bush pilot in Alaska. He always has made excuses to come see her for whatever reason. Her mom and her had lived in Alaska for a time, and her mom and him were absolutely in love, but she just could not stand to live in Alaska for one more second. So she moved her daughter, and then disconnect happened between the daughter and the dad, which is really sad. So she gets a call from a worried woman saying, you need to come see your dad, that he's sick, basically. And he's not talking about it, and we don't know how sick. Anyway, so she decides, not for him, but for herself, that she wants to go see him and get to know her dad. Obviously, he never made the effort to come see her, but she wants to do this for herself. She decides on a mature level. Anyways, she goes out to Alaska. She runs into this angry bush pilot. Her dad runs a bush pilot operation, and he is very, very grumpy, and she is very, very city, and he is very, very rural Alaska. And this guy ends up working for her father, so she spends quite a bit of time with him. Of all the things in this book does turn out to be pretty heavily romantic, but at the same time, it reminds me of like contemporary chick, like both of these books, like contemporary women books, because there's kind of a lot else going on besides the romance. Romance does play a heavier part in the Simple Wild, but there's a lot going on in this book for this girl. So for me, some people find her annoying because she's so city-ish and she seems ignorant or naive, I guess, to the wilderness. But for me, it doesn't really bug me. I grew up in this place like that, and now I live urban, and I get vice versa, people not getting it. I get both sides of the story. So for me, I'm not annoyed by him being so man, cub, bear, I don't know what you would call him, wilderness guy, and then her just not getting it all and showing up in wedges to a nice tundra. So yeah, some people might find her a bit immature in the beginning of these books, which some people, at first I was like, ooh, these guys are kind of immature, so ooh. Even for me, I was just like, oh, because she just doesn't get it. She is worried about her Wi-Fi and her job and as an Instagrammer and stuff, and he is he hides her stuff, blatantly hides it and thinks he's gonna teach her a lesson by her not needing makeup kind of thing, and which is really immature as well, and not respecting each other and all that kind of stuff. So both of them are pretty immature in the beginning, but I am so glad the author makes them grow. They do grow a lot. That's one thing I loved about these books. One of the main things I loved is the character development on both of them and relationship development on both of them. So as the book progresses through everything, I absolutely love the setting of Alaska. It is beautiful. She does one of the best jobs at capturing it and making you want to go and visit Alaska, and a barren wasteland place that's nobody else lives in. So yeah, I love the Alaskan vibes. I love the family small town vibes. You get to know a lot of the side characters. Love the side characters. I love when side characters, you don't need a huge portion of them in a book, but if they can stand on their own and they're unique and they're nice and cool, and I love when the side characters are like that, when they are not a flat screen of something you need, but they're actually a full dimensional character. So yeah, I did also love her writing of the side characters. I liked the familiar familiar between her and her dad, and I didn't. For me, it wasn't enough. I wanted her to spend more and more time with, not more and more time with her dad, but I wanted a little bit more development between her and her dad. It seems a little short-sighted through the book, But I really liked how it was like played out. It was not forced. It was not buddy-buddy. It was like just kind of spending time with somebody, living with somebody. You pick up on things kind of in their background as well a lot. So I did like how she got to know her dad. And in the time the author gave her, it's a pretty short time. So it seems like a realistic how much it was, but I wish they spent. As well as I do love her stepfather, he plays a very pivotal role about helping her mature and helping her grow up and helping her think through things and what is rational and what's not rational. So her stepfather plays a huge pivotal role in her life, which is, it's good. It's not one of those books where it drops off her mom and her stepfather as the people that raised her and all of a sudden she's in this new world. No, like they're brought into it a lot, and I really enjoyed that as well. I also liked finding out about the bush pilots. Like it wasn't something I had read before about. It was really cool about these people who go around and help these people and people who don't have access to roads and stuff, because the environment's so severe that, yeah, they sometimes need medicines or foods or water or whatever it is. Yeah, the bush pilot industry was really cool. Yeah, but I liked the romance too. I liked Jonah and I liked Kara. I liked how they grew up a lot in this very first book. And I thought it was a good ending. I thought it was a little rushed, but maybe that's because the author, I didn't know it was going into a second book. So for me, the ending was a little rushed, but at the same time, I was satisfied. I thought it was a simple, complete book. So when I heard she was coming out with Wild at Heart, I was a little scared. I did not want a retelling of the same story. I didn't want them to be the same. I wanted something different, which is exactly what she gave us. Once again, this was marketed highly as a romance, and this one even more so was not a romance to me. Romance is a part of the book for sure, but it's not the central part of the book. To me, the central part of the book is Kala and like figuring her stuff out. So the first book, the second book, Kala decides to move to Alaska, which is a huge, big thing for her after her father dies. She decides to move with Jonah to Alaska, and it's huge and it's life-changing, and there's a lot of decisions of where they're going to live and all this stuff. So this book is centered a lot around their relationship, but it's also very heavily centered around Kala and what Kala wants to do in her life and why she's here, and just figuring out her own stuff, how she feels about moving there, how she feels about living in the wilderness, you know, just kind of a huge portion of it is that. So there is a lot of internal monologue from Kala's perspective. And it does touch on some of the more like unresolved issues that happen in the first book, which is always nice, but it wasn't a heavy portion of the book by any means. So I liked it that it brought the first book to light again. I'd like to read these two as like a pairing again, like a reread someday, to see what I think of them all together, because I read them so far like probably a year apart. But yeah, I really, really like the second one as well. I love the new characters. Once again, she did really, really well in side characters. Roy and Toby were so fun and stuck out so well. Roy is this grumpy old man. You spend a lot of time with him. It is Kala's neighbor, and they moved to this like wilderness area, and he's starting up his own bush pilot business, and she kind of gets left alone a lot and has to figure out what she wants to do in life and if she's happy living there, kind of thing. So she has a lot of stuff to figure out, and the book kind of leaves off. That was the one thing I think I like questioned on is the book kind of leaves off with she doesn't really have a passion, but she's at that point where she has accepted things that have been given to her. She's accepted where she's at in life. She's and she's like accepted where she is kind of moment, but not really a drive or passion that she wants to do, like I guess like her husband. But I guess not everybody needs that, but it seemed like it was the focus of the book, and then at the end it was more of like about acceptance. So it's like one thing for me. But I love the side characters in the book. Once again, I love the setting. This was a whole new different setting. I love the characters. They were completely different in this book. And by that I mean like this wasn't an introduction into them. It wasn't their maturity and them like starting a relationship. This was a book more about in a relationship and all the problems that escalate in a relationship, and all the things you have to figure out about living together and starting a family together, those kind of things. So I love that this was completely different from the first book. This was not like a falling in love again thing. That's why I say the romance really in this book takes a push back, because a lot of it more is like about Kara. And she still has her Instagram stuff. She still has her blog or website, I forgot what it was, but she still has that stuff going on for her too. But it's a different world, and yeah, it's a whole new thing. I absolutely love these books. I cannot recommend them enough. I gave them 5 stars and I really, really enjoyed them. I think you guys should read them if you're into romances at all. I think you guys will enjoy them and I had so much fun with them, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for checking out my book review. See you guys next time. Bye.